All right, the Holtzfforma, $3.95 again. We'll get into the talkie stuff here after this. I want to get some cuts in. It's starting to get dark, and I just want to get some cuts in, and then we'll wait until the end. I made changes, so we'll wait until the end of the video to talk about it, but just give her a run. Helps to choke it. Well, I made some changes, and it was definitely a loss in performance. But, I mean, the ignition timing is too far advanced. So I'm going to have to back it off some. Probably that last time I did it advanced, that 2 or 3 degrees, I'm probably going to have to take it back out. So, yeah. All right, I'll explain more here.
Pork chops are ready.
Guess that means it's dinner time. But yeah, I made some changes since the last video. Basically all I did is raise the roof a little more. Can you tell how it's running? That it's not as strong. But I can tell you the advance is definitely too far. So you know how you get kind of a dirty exhaust note or sound whenever you're too rich? So it's kind of like that, but it doesn't matter what I do in the tune. It doesn't clear up. So I'm definitely too far advanced. I'm gonna have to back probably 2 or 3 degrees off of this. We'll see if that helps it pick up, because if the advance is too far, you're actually gonna slow the saw down. You're gonna slow that piston down before it gets to top dead center. So we'll see how far is too far, you know what I mean? I'll probably knock 2 or 3 degrees off that timing. But right now, yes, I did lose performance. And all I did is I raised the roof a couple of degrees to see if I could get it to spin up to more RPM. And I'm not 100% I can't 100% say right now because I know the timing is advanced too far. But I do know it is less powerful now by raising the roof those couple of degrees. So we'll see how things go. Um, what else? The funny thing is, before I even started down this adventure, it ran better than all of these other videos that I've done with trying to make it run better. So the first way I did it, my first rendition, I should have, I could have just left it and been like, because that so far is the fastest version. And ever since then, and ever since I've tried to make changes to make it run better, I have yet to get it back to that performance level. So like today here, like 11.5 to 11,000 RPM in the cut is all I'm getting. And before I started this process, I was getting 11.5 to 11.7, really good, hard, heavy pull. And ever since then, I've basically been running at about the same RPM, but it just hasn't pulled quite as hard. You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe I should just left well enough alone. But it's kind of like, it's part of the adventure to figure things out. Right now, I know for a fact I got the timing too far advanced, so I can't say 100% right now that by raising the roof, I cause it to lose performance. Because my timing is too far advanced. So I got to clean that up first before I can say. So probably the next video you see on this saw, I'm going to make the decision. I'll clean that timing up, and then I'll probably make the decision on whether or not I'm going to replace this top end and go with a new one and do a fresh build. So I'm trying to get it up there higher in the RPM. These 395s seem to be a really big challenge to really get them to cut hard and heavy above 12,000 RPM. You can get them to cut freaking strong as heck. You can. But to get it to do it at like 12.5, that seems to be the challenge for me. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to achieve it. So, and the whole time I'm talking here, I'm thinking in my head what I did to the build that I had it running the way I had it the first time around. And, it's not much different. I mean, the numbers you're seeing right now are almost identical to what it was before I started this process. So I'm going through my head, what is different between this rendition and where I started? There isn't a lot, but there are a few things. The numbers, I'm back to those numbers I started with. Because the last video we were at 98 roof. I just took it back to my starting numbers, the same numbers I had when this whole process started, and I'm still slower. And one of the big factors here is that it's got a different piston in it. So is it this piston that's causing this? That's the question. It is definitely a different piston. I took more material off of the other piston, so it was definitely lighter. Could it be the piston swap? Could that be the one thing that's been causing this to run slower? That's the question. But before I can make any decisions, I need to fix that timing, back it up that 2 or 3 degrees, and see how she goes. You know what I mean? So I did 2 timing advances on this. The first time was like a 6-degree advance. That one ran great. And then I added another like 2-3 degrees here recently, which at first it was fine, but now it's definitely too much. So I'm going to have to back it off some. I'll probably back it back down to that original 6-degree timing advance and stick with it. So that's where we're at. I don't think it's going to spin up a lot in RPM, but we'll see. You never know. It could be that one little thing, if that timing is just right, that it could be slowing that piston down and robbing me of power, if it's hitting too far advanced or hitting too early. So we won't know until I fix that problem if we are completely, or if we need to really go back into it and just start again. But she's well documented, all the testing and everything. We're getting there. I'm starting to figure this thing out. These 395s definitely do, you know, the tweaks on these 395s are definitely different than what you would do on other saws to make these run good. And I got a really good idea. I think I know what I need to do. So, alrighty. Hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.